What's up guys, Shane Stars here. Today we're going to be taking a look at a super powerful gaming monitor for under $200. This is the 27-inch 2K 165Hz gaming monitor by HopeStar. Big shout outs to HopeStar for sponsoring this video. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first up, let's go ahead and get this out of the box to see what all this comes with. Okay, it looks like we've got our power supply. Did come with the DisplayPort cable, so that was a nice touch. And there is the 27-inch monitor. So this does have the ability to be VESA mounted. So you've got like your VESA mounting points here, but in our scenario here, we're gonna go ahead and put this together on the stand. So there were no instructions for building the stand, but it seems pretty simple. I think we're just gonna take this screw, put it like that, and then insert it onto the back of the monitor. We'll go ahead and get started with that. I'm just gonna take the screw out of the bottom here. All right, next up, we're just gonna attach the feet to the base. It can only go one way, so there's not really any way that you can mess that up. And then we're going to just insert the screw. All right, once that's good and tight, we should be able to just slide this in place. All right, there is a little button here, so you'll press the button to insert and remove the feet there. So if we want to remove this, we'll just press that button and that comes out. So that's pretty simple and self-explanatory. And then now it's on there good and firm. It's not going anywhere. We've got power menu up and down and source for our buttons here. On the bottom here, all of our I/O. It looks like we've got an audio jack, a display port, 2 HDMI ports, a USB port, and a power port. This is interesting. There's actually a little projector here. So this is gonna project a V on your desk. I think that's pretty cool. And then also another standout feature here, which we're gonna get into a little more later. It has RGB lighting on the back of the monitor as well. So I think that's pretty interesting. And there is a bit of adjustability here, so you can actually adjust the viewing angle as well. All right, and of course, if you needed to adjust, you could just slide it back and forth. Just a few specs about this monitor. The resolution is 2560 by 1440 for 2K resolution at 165 Hz. This is able to produce more than 1 billion colors, and it's able to produce a response time of 1 millisecond. At the highest brightness setting, this display does get pretty bright at 250 nits. This also includes support for AMD FreeSync. It has low blue light, HDR, overdrive, picture-in-picture, and much more. A few things that really stood out to me. I do like the styling of this display. I like that it does have the minimal bezels around it, and I do like the fact that it has the RGB lights on the back, especially if you're gonna have this sitting in the middle of the room on, say, a desk in the middle, where people are actually gonna see the back of the display. I do like that function, and I really do like this projection that it projects on the desk. I think that looks really cool as well. When it comes to the actual experience of using this, you have to remember the price point. So we're at under $200 for this specific monitor. It's a big monitor, so it's 27 inches, which is gonna be big enough for most people. 250 nits of brightness doesn't seem very bright, but even in a lit room, I'm still getting plenty of brightness, and with the built-in HDR, I can still see plenty of detail even in the dark places on the game. So I did crank up the brightness. So the very first thing that I did was I went into the settings and I did crank up the brightness to 100, and I feel like the monitor is bright enough for me. As far as the refresh rate, I didn't notice any tearing or any lag in the picture or anything like that. Even in very high intense action scenarios, I felt like the image was still super smooth on this display. So that gets an A+ from me, especially at the price point. One thing that I did notice, there is a port for speakers to be plugged into, but there were no speakers on the actual monitor itself. But at the price point, I'd rather than focus on the image quality coming out of the monitor. I have desk speakers, so that wasn't really an issue for me, but it is something to consider that you are gonna have to have a separate set of speakers with this monitor. Overall, I have really enjoyed the HopeStar 27-inch 2K 165Hz monitor, and at the price point, I think it's going to be really hard to beat. That about wraps it up for this video. Thanks guys for watching. Be blessed. I'll see you in the next one.